All right, everybody. Listen, audience, listen. And I haven't failed you yet, have I not? Have I? No. Everybody I've invited has been cool. I told you I'm going to have on people that I know you're going to enjoy. It continues this time. It continues again. Ryan, introduce yourself to the audience.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ryan Bonnell. I am a Colorado comedian, host, and podcaster, and I hope to not screw up the track record that you've been producing so far.
Okay, he's already ruined it, and this episode's over. And man, it's it's really an interesting thing because we've been following each other on social media for quite a while now, and I'm thinking, because we've done obviously we're both podcasters and comedians. You near the West Coast, me on the East Coast, and I've never actually been to Denver.
Really?
Yeah, never been there.
Like that's amazing to me. I'm already like, okay, let me book you. When do you want to come out? When you want stage time?
You know, I'm going to hold you to that because the funny thing is, I lived in Los Angeles for most of the '90s. But and I've been to Vegas, obviously, but I've never been to Denver. And everybody that I've talked to has told me how awesome it is.
It's a pretty amazing scene. I had somebody from New York who was a headliner one weekend. I worked a couple shows with him. And then it was the following Thursday. I was working at one of my shows and working the door. And he walked by me and goes, "Ryan, I'm leaving a brewery that had a sold out comedy show. I'm on my way to another brewery with a sold out comedy show. And I found you here at a brewery with a sold out comedy show." Like it's nuts that they eat it up around here. Like there's enough breweries and enough people that want it. Like it's pretty amazing.
That's the weird thing because you're saying breweries and every place else it's maybe it's the same there. It's a good idea to ask you. Coffee houses. They do
not as much.
It's all breweries there.
Yeah, we only because there's I think there's something like 250 like microbrew companies in Colorado that it's just so easy for them to have places and do things that's where you get your start at comedy. You find shows, you can make shows doing that way. I mean, there's definitely clubs. There's of course Comedy Works, Sport Comedy, and other actual comedy clubs. But like if you're wanting to like get and grind yourself, go find yourself a brewery to have a show at.
Man, that sounds like and I'm going to make myself sound 750 years old right now. When I started doing stand-up in 1986, yes, 86.
Nice.
That was during the middle of the comedy boom, and it was literally the same thing. Yours was breweries, ours was bars. Just every bar, nightclub, anything that had four walls on it would throw a microphone in there, some chairs, and you could just do comedy. And it sounds like you have a really cool scene there with essentially like a comedy family there.
It is like this is definitely a family when it comes to the comedy scene around here. Everybody pretty much takes care of everybody. Nobody really feels like they're truly in competition with one another. Everyone wants to succeed and help each other succeed. And the more shows, the merrier. The more stage time you have a chance to work on things, to go to a different audience. Colorado's amazing because in less than an hour, you can have a completely different audience. You can have a very conservative audience, more farmer audience, very, city-oriented audience, very liberal audiences, very tough liberal audiences. It's a great comedy ground. I'm a Boulder comic, and anybody who knows Boulder comedy, we have a lot of uptight assholes that like to watch our comedy, and that's fine. But it makes you a better comic coming out of it. You had to earn your laughs. They weren't given to you.
That really is the best, the best way to get started. I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I don't know if you're familiar with the sports fans of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yes, sir. We have one in our scene. He's 5'6", and I will not fight him.
Yeah. Just imagine about 2 million of those. So, more like 1.6 million, right? So that's the audience that you start off with here, and basically anybody that started here. I'm not even in Philadelphia now, but you know what I'm saying. When they start off there is you have about somewhere between 3 to 7 seconds to get to it You know, there's none of that easing into the act. Hey, how you guys doing tonight? Whew, I had a hard time getting it. They're already like, get the hell out of that crap. Come on, jokes. it just doesn't work.
Seriously, I did my first, basically my second open mic since the pandemic last night.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who opened was doing that kind of stuff. And like, nobody was feeling it. Like, no, man, we're in Fort Comedy right now. Get to the jokes, please.
Yeah,
like, don't play around. Make me laugh.
Well, that's the funny thing, because when people watch stand-up comedy on TV that have never been to a comedy club, they're only, stand-up comedy that they're used to is the stuff that's on television. And in television, when you put your set together, they go through that crap line by line. Trust me, and they want you to get right to it. So when they see comedy on TV, it's like, this next guy, hey, what's going on, everybody? Anyway, and they just jump right into it. But at the comedy club, you kind of can ease into it. But most of the time, audiences don't feel that kind of crap at all. How bad was the pandemic where you are?
So it was bad, but I got lucky. I mean, every like actual comedy show was closed. Like I remember it was March 7th. I was on a show and I'm looking at the producer, and we both realized it was going to be a while before we were ever going to see indoor comedy again. Mm-hmm. There were 6 people at that show, and you could just had the feeling, this is it. Tonight's the last night. We might not see each other for a while. But I say I got lucky. I did a lot of outdoor shows. You talked about breweries. A lot of the breweries had open tables and things I could do where you could do open air comedy. And I'm a little louder and bigger than most people, so I play well to an outdoor audience. So it worked out really well for me because the producer I hooked up with, like, he loved me as a host. I was super energetic. I'm really loud. Like it's hard for that spread out outdoor audience, COVID audience, to feel like they're welcomed into a tight comedy room, and to do that's very difficult. And I feel like I did it fairly successfully.
For you, when you were doing the comedy outside, did you feel like, because everybody, well, as we know as comics, the dynamic, as you just explained, from outside to inside is a whole different animal. There's no airplanes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%.
It's like, ugh. Did it throw your timing off the first time you did the outside shows?
A few of the times it did, occasionally, but I guess I'm so kind of used to it. My first feature set in Colorado, which this person shouldn't gave me that feature set, but that's on them. I went and I did it, and it was next to train tracks, and it was notoriously, somebody would tell you at some point during the set the train's going to go by, and it was during my set, and the train went by for 3 minutes.
Ooh.
And like, yeah. So you kind of had to learn to work with it. You're just like, okay. And I don't know, I've done such weird shows, and honestly, my style of being a performer, I feel like I'm more like a professional wrestler and like hype man than at points than a comedian. It makes it easier just to be bigger and louder and bolder outside. Like, even if you fail, at worst, you're getting, especially at the host spot, I'm getting the attention on myself. Like, and I'll get the attention on the stage. Like, again, wrestling terms, I'll go heel. I'll make everybody a baby face. Like, I'll make you love every single comic that's going to come up after me because you hated me. I'm okay with this as long as the show goes on.
You literally just told on yourself just now with that heel reference.
Oh, 100%. Oh, that.
you literally, is that how long you've been watching were you watching the WWE when it was WWF?
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah. Back like the Rockers, everything. Like,
oh my God. How
I'm
old
early
are you,
80s.
Dude. The Rockers?
Not even that either. Like, I'm 35, by the way. Like,
I know, I've seen you. I know. I look
5.
at you. I can see you in your 30s. I'm going, the Rockers?
Yes. Give me some old Shawn Michael, Hulk Hogan. I had a Hulk Hogan toy at 4 years old. Oh, like I feel like Hulkamania when a good show's going well, that's what I want to build to. Just like, I want that crowd just feeling it, that energy going. Like, that's what I want.
Yeah, because
now, but again, I'm learning now going back indoors. I can't always be that person. I have to tone that down a lot.
It was just really weird hearing that terminology come out, because that's like casuals don't know that. Casuals don't know heel and face and bumps and kayfabe. They don't know what that is. So you know what I mean?
Me and another comedian, PJ Johnson. It's just kind of like we watch enough wrestling. Like that's kind of who we're just like. I'd rather be that aura. And like I've watched it so long, I can mimic those guys and feel like that. And sometimes that's easier than just doing material, like being that big and that bold. And again, even hated is okay at certain points. You better not be the headliner and being hated. But like again, if you're going to be a host, it's fine. No, nobody's going to remember your set anyways. So
that is so. Now, when you said your first feature set, how long ago was that?
About 3 years ago. And I definitely didn't get a feature set for a long time after that. It was not good. I recently talked to the guy who headlined after me, and it was the first time he saw me, and he saw me again a couple weeks ago. He goes, "Oh my gosh, Ryan, you're so significantly better than the first time I saw you. Like, work on a couple other things, but man, you're so much better than that." I was like, "Yeah, that 15-minute set was long." I really feel bad for that audience. Like, I shouldn't have said yes, but of course I am.
Do you? I mean, so your feature set was, you did 15?
Yeah, around here. So an opener usually does 10, feature does 15, headliner does 30 to 45.
Oh, okay. Yes, just a little bit different than the quote standard format unquote. Out here, it's 15, 30, 45. So the MC does.
Oh, that's
50.
what I've heard, and
yeah.
I learned that actually. I did my first out of state gig and they're like, "No, you do 15 as your host." I was like, "Oh, really? You guys are gonna let me do 15? Oh, okay, thanks, cool."
Yeah, because if you go, because like most other places you go, it's 15, 30. It's usually 15, 30, 45, or 15, 30, 60. But usually it's 45 because they want to get your ass off the stage because they got a second show to do.
Yeah.
But it's when you.
I will say usually we have a few more.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Usually we have a few more like drop-ins and guest spots that will fill up those earlier minutes too. Typically is where that's filled out at. So,
but get ready, my friend. Because it's just a weird thing. Because when you did your first 30, it's like the butterflies in the stomach get really big because you now know you're a huge chunk. See, if the MC doesn't do well, but the feature and the headliner do well, nobody cares. You know what I mean?
Nope.
If the
nobody ever remembered you.
Yeah, but if the feature has a bad set or the headliner has a bad set, you pretty much ruined their weekend. No pressure though. That's what I used to say to myself. I used to say that to myself all the time. I was like, yeah, if I suck for 45 minutes, I pretty much ruin these people's weekend. But no pressure.
No pressure at all.
No pressure at all.
No, that's so perfect. That's absolutely how the show goes. And like, as long as the headliner does well enough, nobody ever remembers, and they had a great time. That's all they think that they had. They had the best time ever. And I've definitely seen enough headliners tank it. And I'm like, oh man, there goes any money I was expecting to make tonight. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Isn't that one of the weirdest things to see?
Tip bucket stuff.
Isn't that one of the weirdest things to see when you see someone who's doing 45 to 60 minutes and 30 seconds in, you already know this is going to be the longest hour. It's like watching somebody get beaten on a television show and you can't help them.
Well, the problem is some of these people I'm watching are intentionally beating themselves. I will not name names on who this is, but this is a local headliner, and I watched this person go up and literally crowd work an audience for jokes. Literally was open micing it and like intentionally telling the crowd that this person was open micing as a headliner. And I'm like, no, please don't do this. Please don't do this. And 30 minutes of it. And you're just like, oh.
Yeah, a lot of people like crowd work basically, unless you're like some kind of genius at it. Crowd work is like, salt and pepper. It's a condiment. You wouldn't want to sit back and with a bottle of ketchup and squirt it in your mouth until it's empty. That's basically what it turns into. Instead of just squirting a little on your hamburger or whatever. But that's an interesting thing because what I've heard about Denver is everybody's very active. Riding bikes and hiking and on the trails and everybody's working out and everybody's fit, which is why I won't be going there anytime soon. Damn it.
There is an overabundance of people who are in way too good of shape. Again, being a Boulder comic, people are my weekend shows are at a bicycle repair shop brewery.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the place I'm performing at. Like that's their customer base is like, oh, I have bicycles and everything else. I've worked at a bicycle panini shop bar and done like 100-person open mic before. Like, yes, these people are way too fit. They try way too hard. And being the large guy that goes on stage, I'm very proud of that. Like, I'm just like, this is what happens, guys, when you drink a couple beers. It's okay. You'll be all right.
So you're a big guy as well.
Yes. About 6'3", 260.
6'3". Yeah. Okay, well, I'm 5'8", but 60. When you say big guy, I mean, I thought you're tall, obviously, but you're a big guy. You know,
I'm a big guy. That's again, it helps too because getting my foot in the door, I'd work the doors, I'd bounce tables and like things for stage time. It was my easiest way to getting in because I'm like, I know I can like beat somebody up with my fist and like, can you guys give me 5 minutes that I can prove it with a mouth? Like I'll do this. Actually, it's funny you. Like, so you'll appreciate this. So we get outdoor shows. We're in downtown Denver, so we have a lot of like homeless people coming around and things. And I haven't been doing much door work a lot lately, but one producer host was like, I really miss Ryan tonight because he just hates the homeless, and he would have taken care of the situation right away, and he wouldn't have ruined my set. And I was like, thanks, Ben. I appreciate that.
I got news for you. That's the name of your one-man show right there. Ryan Hates the Homeless. That's your show right there. That's the name of your first Netflix special.
Absolutely, it is. If that's not my comedy special, I don't know what is.
I'm telling you right now. If you need somebody to play an extra, I'm there, baby. I just got to kick. That's kind of a funny thing too. But that's what made you exactly? Because I'm always curious. Because every comic I meet, you kind of fall in the conversation, and I basically think that as comics, even if we don't meet each other, we have so many things in common. The same type of experiences in the beginning, learning our craft, moving up from MC to feature to headliner, getting your first TV spot or getting on radio and all these kind of things. We all have the same experiences at different areas. But I'm always curious because this is a unique thing that we do. It seems like there's a lot of us, but when you think about the other professions, there's not that many of us as you think. What made you actually pick up the microphone the first time? I'm always curious about what makes a person do it for the first time.
So I started as a podcaster first. And I always wanted to do podcast comedy, and I was doing it and it was fine. And then I just kind of felt like I hit a ceiling. I was like, this is as far as I'm funny right now. And I said, what else can I do to go try to be funny? So I was like, I'm going to go do stand-up. I didn't tell anybody I was going to go do stand-up. I just kind of wrote some stuff down, and I went to the famous, no longer there, El Chorrito Comedy Room. And I'll never forget it because it was an 11 o'clock mic, and I signed up 16th out of 32, and I didn't realize they did their own show order. So I'm assuming I was going 16th. I had no clue. I went last. It was 3 a.m. on Friday morning now. There's only a handful of people in the room. And the worst thing that happened is I heard laughter. I was like, no, why couldn't I just bomb and I could never have to do this again? And it was like, nope, I heard laughter. I have to keep making sure that I'm still funny. Can I be funny? And I've been chasing the dragon ever since.
Now, your first set went pretty well.
No, I'm not. Hold on. I saw someone bomb, like absolutely terrorist. I heard a little bit of laughter, and that was the problem. It was just enough for me to go, should I keep trying this? And then I did. I mean, we're almost 4 years in, and I'm still trying it.
Do you remember your first really heavy bombola?
Oh, yes, because it only came a few weeks after that. After that, I was like, oh, these comedians suck. The comedians. So I went to a mixed open mic. What a terrible idea that was.
That's why I'm laughing.
Because they hated me. Yeah, I know. You've been there. You've been to a few of those. You know this experience. So I went. So the worst part was they offered 15-minute slots.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh no, like, am I going to do 15 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote 15 minutes worth of material, like, and it was just so bad. The problem was when I went up to do this, the room was fairly full and they were putting me up pretty late. And this one woman went up with their out of tune guitar and walked the entire room. Everyone was gone except for the host who'd already heard most of my stuff and the lady with the out of tune guitar. I was like, oh no. And like, I got off stage and I looked at her and she goes, comedy's hard, huh? I was like, oh, shut up. You walked the entire room. I don't even know if I could have been funny. Yeah, that was a string of many failures early on. I failed a lot early, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that is one of those things. My last Bombola was a long time ago, and it is burned into my brain. It's from the 80s, and now you have a couple sprinkles here and there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about the one where where you want to act like that it never happened. You know?
Yes.
The quietest place in the world is a room with 220 something people in it or 300 people in it, and you're telling your jokes and nobody cares.
Yes. Oh, that's the worst. Oh. Yeah. I will say I had one recently. It was in a room about 40 people.
Mm-hmm.
I was killing it. And then I had a heckler. I nailed the heckler. I was like, yes, I got this. And then I flubbed my ending. I screwed up my ending so bad. And like, I was like, okay, you know what? Let me try to recover this with some new material. And all I could hear after about a minute and a half of new material was the heckler go, "You're bombing." And I was like, oh no, he's right. Oh, he's right. I'm getting off stage. Good night.
You handed that bastard a sword.
Oh, I 100% did. Like, I had stabbed him and he just pulled that shit out of his chest and goes, nope, come here.
This is Sparta.
That's 100% what happened, because that dude still wanted to fight me after my set too. And I was like, this isn't good. Like, I bombed and he wants to fight me.
I'm going to ask you this, because obviously the reputation for where you are is sweet people, great people, nice people. Have you ever played a place that's dangerous?
Oh, 100%. It's called Colorado Springs.
Okay.
Colorado Springs and Johnstown, Colorado. Both are okay. One's more Republican, one's more religious.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just I have material, just openly, I'm a bisexual male. Trying to do those jokes in those areas is terrifying. And like, there are some places you get hatred and vitriol. But actually, let me say this. I have a great story that you'll appreciate when it comes to this. I did my first out-of-state gig about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
I went and played Gillette, Wyoming. Woo. Oh no. This gets really good because the show was amazing. The show was fire. Everyone's loving us afterwards. They're coming up, thanking us, buying us drinks. This is the best comedy show we've ever seen. Except this one table wasn't feeling it. And you could just see it. It's the ultimate Karen sitting in the front row. She's holding her hands across her thing. She's making faces like whatever. Okay. Now, mind you, this is 3 Denver comics. So we do the show. We get back to the hotel and there's the police waiting for us. Somebody from the show, we don't know who, called the police and said, we might have marijuana on us. Due to comedy, I was arrested and stayed 40 hours in jail in Gillette, Wyoming over the weekend.
Okay.
For what ended up being half a joint.
Oh.
Like, I was just like, yeah, this lady, because one comic, the headliner, will leave his name out of this, made a couple jokes towards the end of his set about, working in weed and things. And I watched this lady's face and went, oh no, don't say that here. Let's not joke that. And she called the cops on us.
Wow. That is, I just imagine spending all that time in jail because someone in the audience was an idiot.
Yes, this is exactly what happened. You're like, Are you kidding me? Like 3 hours, like depending, like between, like for over 3 hours, like I was signing autographs, they're buying me drinks. And then a few hours later, I'm in an orange jumpsuit in a cell with another friend. Like that's exactly what ended up happening. Like it was insane.
Man, you got the Lenny Bruce story.
Yeah. Also, that's it. Somebody else told me that recently too. I was like, yeah. Like they said, I think Carlin got arrested too.
I was just about to say that.
Like somebody called the cops. Okay, it's like I was like, okay, I guess everyone's like, Ryan, you have street cred now. I'm like, this isn't how I wanted street cred. Like this isn't what I wanted. So
I'm just, it's astounding because, you know, a lot of times you get into a situation. We played bars back in the day, and you know, you literally you walk into the building. I remember walking into a building, and I'm looking around, and I'm going, I'm at least going to get stabbed in here. I'm not even kidding. I'm going
100%.
I was like, I'm at least, I'm not stabbed. I'm at least going to get slashed in here. And I was like, this is, you know, and obviously, and I'm not, nothing happened. The show went well, but we're sitting in the car, and we do the show. It's ridiculously dangerous. I mean, just shockingly dangerous. Biker gang, knives, people with knives in their hands, threaten each other in the audience, dangerous. Show goes well. We leave. And it's just one of those things where you sit there, you're going, we could have been on a Dateline special. You know,
100%. Oh my gosh. There's so many. I had an open mic one time I went to this notoriously bad place. The bartender got so drunk that she was replaced by the bartender that got fired the week before. Mm-hmm. They're doing coke deals in front of me, and they were so mad they cut off alcohol sales as the mic started.
Oh. So
I'm in this. Yeah, exactly. So guess who ends up having to go first? Yeah, that was me.
Enjoy.
Oh yeah, and I'm trying to play it off like be cool. It's kind of a sports bar, and I'm from St. Louis, and they were talking about St. Louis Cardinals were on playing, and I think the St. Louis Blues were in the Stanley Cup Finals or something like that. I'm trying to make a sports reference. I go, man, why don't you guys have the Blues game on? Come on, St. Louis is the shit. And this guy looks at me and goes, "What part of St. Louis are you from?" I was like, Jefferson County, and he goes, "You're in the shit. You ain't getting stabbed tonight." Oh, thank God! I said the right place at the right time, and he's not gonna kill me. Like it was, like he was gonna stab me. He's the one doing drug deals in front of me before I went up there. I was like, oh no, he's gonna kill me. Like he told somebody before him, "Fuck you, fat boy. I'm gonna fuck you up." Like he told that to another patron before I went up.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, alrighty. It's amazing how many times, and if anybody is listening, it doesn't matter what country you're in, because I know that, you know, if you do stand-up comedy, just realize that what this man is talking about right here and what I'm talking about right here, it is absolutely going to happen to you. Okay? Just letting you know what Ryan is talking about, what S. Anthony is talking about, it's going to happen to you. You know, it happens literally. I mean, I think 99.9% of the comics I've ever met have at least two to five stories just like mine and yours. Some of them I can't even talk about on the air. You know, if we meet in person, I'll tell you when we, you know, if I come to where you are and we meet, we shake hands and go, here's the crap I couldn't tell you. You know, but that's just that. Wait a minute, how the hell did you get to Denver from St. Louis?
So I lived in St. Louis the first 8 months of my life, and then they found out that I was allergic to the air in St. Louis. Then my mom had family in Denver, so we moved all back to Denver, and I've been here ever since, basically. So 33 out of 35 years I've been in Colorado.
Okay, so what are you claiming St. Louis for? Then get out of here with that. You're a Denver guy.
I had to do something. I was trying. Well, first off, Denver didn't have a hockey team for a very long time, and I grew up a hockey fan, so St. Louis Blues were my team before the Avalanche. So I want mild credit for that. But yeah, no, otherwise you're right. I was pulling at strings at that point. Like I said, I was just trying to get their attention.
And you're lucky. And I got it. You just spun that wheel like on the Wheel of Fortune and said the right place.
I 100% I did, and I looked at him, and he goes, "Yeah, you were in the shit." And I remember going on stage, and I go, "No, man, I'm soft as heck. Like seriously, you have no idea. Like you don't get this."
That is just it's amazing. We all have these stories, and that's the thing that is so weird. It's like, how does this happen to literally, virtually every and you know how I know a gazillion comics, and virtually everyone. Yeah, there was a guy with a baseball bat waiting for me in the parking lot, and he was gonna hit me in the head, and he said, "You're gonna die, buddy." I said, "Come on, man," and he goes, "Where you from, punk?" Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I'm from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You get to live tonight. You know, everybody has that story. And you're going, I came that close to getting my head bashed in, and just because of, my parents just happened to hit that specific hospital on the way. Little did they know, 19 years later or 20 years later, that you're pulling into that hospital would keep you from getting my head smashed. It's just always these weird stories. Now you said, then I'm going to check the. Wait a minute, I got to get you. This is what I'm talking about. I have to talk about the podcasting buster.
Yes, sir. Let's do this.
How many podcast shows did you have?
So between everything I've done, I have been either on or a guest of over 225.
Mm-hmm. But how many?
So not as many as you. You're the king of the number on that. I was telling people today, I was just like, I can't do what he does, but I feel like 225 is pretty good right now. We were going really strong on my last show until the pandemic, because it was just us interviewing other comics. Mm-hmm. Well, if no one's working, it's not fun to talk about at that point. So it was just like, okay.
But what
so we took a time off.
Name your, but the names of your shows, your podcasts.
So the one you hopefully remember me from was the Mr. BS show.
Mm-hmm.
I was on that for a very long time. Yeah. And then I was on the Three Mandys podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We did almost 100 episodes of that. And then I have a show in the tank. I still could release it. I just need to get to editing. I love talking about it, though. It's called Blind Date with Anthony Bartolo, where literally I played a waiter. He played a patron, and then I would have random Zoom guests have to go on a dinner date with him. And it would be different comedians in the scene that would have to go on a dinner date with him. And he would have no idea who it was up until the moment we started the show.
Do you?
I have like 8 episodes of that.
No, go ahead. Sorry. You.
No, that's pretty much it. I just got to stop being lazy and edit that shit. So.
Yeah, man. You let those shows pile up on you, man. As you get 5 or 6 shows ahead and you're going, I have to edit 12 hours of
yeah,
I gotta edit 12 hours of this stuff, and it's just, and and sometimes when you want to write the bio, the introduction to the show, you're going, I'm gonna have to listen to the show again because there's 6 or 7 episodes stacked that I just kept recording these shows. And I realized I should have written notes down while I was recording them. I was so busy trying to have the conversation and concentrate on what the person was saying. And then afterwards you get an edit and you're going, oh my God, I got to listen to the whole show over and again just to make sure I don't miss anything. And it's just a weird thing. Now, I saw a set of yours.
100% is.
I saw a set of yours at
Did
the
you?
Comedy
Okay.
Box. It was 2.5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. My newbie set. Yes, sir. Yeah. 2.5 minutes.
And I want to know, was it artistic license or was it true about you losing that much weight?
That much weight is 100% real. That is like my earliest combined joke, because I started doing stand-up about the time I had lost that weight, which is such a bad idea. I really should have done it when I was heavier. I would have been way funnier, but idiot. But no, I did. And then I combined that story with another story. It was the first time I'd ever done that. I took a couple different jokes and mixed them together. All true. Everything in that story is true, just combined a little bit.
Now tell the audience exactly how much weight did you drop? Drum roll.
I lost 95 pounds.
95 pounds. I'm going to say it again. 95 pounds. I'm going to say it one more time. 95 pounds. How long did that take, my friend? At least a year, right?
It took me about 1.5 years, 2 years. And then I kept it off for 3, which was really nice. Comedy, I put a little bit back on, and then the pandemic pushed it back up a little bit. I'm still down from where I was, even at that weight loss point. But yeah, 95 pounds. at the first early part, I was only doing less than 50 carbs a day. No rice. It was nuts. Finally, after about a year, I finally let myself have rice. No alcohol, no nothing. Like the meat, veggies, fruit. That's what I ate for years.
What was it? Did you had to,
it was worth it. It was
I'm assuming you dropped soda also, right?
Yep. Soda was gone. It was only water pretty much at that point. Water with maybe lemon juice if I got wild. As I sit here with my tall boy in my hand, I definitely remember being that skinny, but that's okay. No, it was great. It was
a huge achievement.
But it was an accomplished. It was a huge achievement, and like, which is nice. Like, I'm just gonna be selfish too. I love using that moment on stage if things are going bad, because I know instantly the audience is gonna get behind me. They're like, good for you. Like the first time I ever told even that story without telling it as a joke, I told it to Kevin Smith. I was at one of his Q&As because he was my inspiration for losing that much weight, because he had done all that. And I said, I lost 95 pounds and 400 people erupted like, woo. And I was like, oh, that's an accomplishment. Oh, thanks, guys. That's good to know.
Huge accomplishment. It's literally one of the hardest things to do. I lost 26 and I was like, yeah.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Hey, that's awesome. Hey,
but when somebody loses 95 pounds, it's like, good Lord. Workout wise, what were you doing?
So at that point, it wasn't anything crazy. So I would either be walking 1.5 miles back and forth to work, or I would just go to the gym and do maybe 3 or 4 miles on the treadmill. No crazy heavy lifting or anything else. Nothing more than that. Honestly, I was always such a big kid. I think it came off naturally because I was probably anywhere between 240 to 250 pounds senior year on, and that was as light as I was. So I was always big. But keeping it off and staying in this range was never a possibility until that point, which again, I put some of the weight on, but I've been really good about, no, I don't want to get that big again. I'll stop myself at certain points. I'll say no. It's been a better balance of eating now than again, the first time was probably unhealthy how little carbs I was actually ingesting to myself, but it was worth it to get down to that size for a while.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing, because if you're a comic, see, most people, they go to work and then they go home. So what's in the house is controllable. As a comic, when you're out of the house, the stuff that they have in front of us. Nachos, burritos, and the cupcakes, and this thing. Hey, great set. Have this greasy slop that you can put in your mouth right now. Get in there, have a lot of it. Here's some cheese on top of that lard, and it just hand it to you.
Here's 3 drink tickets too, man. You did awesome. Whatever you want, here you go. Like, yes, like it's so hard to stay that way because of that. Like I wouldn't say impossible, because I've seen some people do it. I just don't have the willpower to say no. Like, even at that Gillette show, everyone's just buying me shots, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say no. I'm on vacation. Thank you, please. Let's just keep this going. But no, and that's the thing that I'm trying to learn and get better at. Be like, I need to say no, and be like, no, thank you, I appreciate it, thank you for your offer.
So what's the road gigs like for you when you get outside of? Have you done a lot of gigs outside of your home state? Your real home state, not St. Louis?
No, I really haven't. But again, like, Colorado's so drastic. Like, you driving 2 hours changes up your entire audience. So I feel like I am. And again, it is different, and it is terrifying. Like I said, like, I will go into areas that don't know me, don't know my style, are not used to somebody like me. And I'm like, I really hope this goes well. And most times it does now. I'm grateful I took my time in my scene to get better before I really started branching off. Well, also, nobody would book me either. That helps. But no, but like now at this point, I have shows all over Colorado. I have Boulder, Denver, Colorado Springs. I did Fort Collins last night. The mountain states, the further out regions. Like I said, I did Gillette. I was gonna try last year more, but maybe sometime here in the near future. I know some people in Ohio and other places. I want to do more road gigs, and I just I want to see if it's funny there. Like, that's my biggest goal. I'm like, am I funny somewhere else? Am I funny everywhere? Like, that's all I want to be, is funny everywhere.
Is your act a lot of? I mean, do you have local references in your material?
So I do in a few things, which is one of the reasons I think they took my joke book in Wyoming at the jail cell, because I started writing like Cheyenne and Laramie bisexual. I think they were getting upset at that. But I was like trying to change up my local jokes to match them. I do have a few. I have a lot less now. I was very heavy into that when I started. A lot of my material early was that way. Now it's definitely more about me, more about my experiences than regional humor. I was good at regional humor, but like that only plays so well. But it helps as a host. That's my big thing. Like, I love it as a host.
Now, what do you do outside of the joke selling?
Outside of the joke selling,
yes. What do you do? What is regular life like for you, my friend? What do you do? How do you have fun?
Okay, well, my fun is not optional too often right now, because it's basically go to work, go to comedy, which again is fun. It's awesome, but I have a great day job. As I told you, I got arrested for marijuana. I'm an inventory manager at a marijuana dispensary, so that's my day job, which pays the bills, which is great. Otherwise, I mean, if I can, maybe I'll watch some TV. I don't watch much TV anymore. I used to be a big TV guy, big sports guy. I was very involved in all those things and try to watch those things. But I mean, you'll know this if you have a show Thursday, Friday, 2 on Saturday. You're not going to get a lot of sports in. Like, you're just not going to. So I've learned to kind of accept that. Like, I'll catch up on my media on Sunday or something, maybe watch some things. But honestly, it's trying to write more jokes, just trying to just be better. And not the greatest comic ever, but just be booked, be more recognized, try harder. I feel like I can work harder than everybody else. I might not be the funniest person, but I'll work harder than you. That's my goal at this point.
Now, at the day job.
Yeah.
Do you deal with the public at all, or are you what do you deal with? I mean, are you out front? Do you have to sell?
Yes. Oh. So I've been in the marijuana industry for 7 years. I've been back end 2 of those years, but yes, 5 of those years, and including occasional time, I do have to deal with the customers. And that you said something to me. The handful of sentences you and I actually got interacted with the one time I was on a podcast with you previous. You said, Ryan, everyone tries to be a comedian. Everyone thinks they're a comedian, right? Yeah. Working in retail, everybody thinks they're a comedian, dude. Like, everyone comes up and thinks they're hilarious. And I'm like, you're not funny. Like, please stop. You're offending my ears. Like, can I just sell you marijuana and get you out the door?
You don't tell people what you do.
No, but there was.
If you tell them, you're asking
so
for it.
So I had this customer the other day. We have curbside pickup right now due to COVID. So people will pull up in their vehicles, and this lady didn't place her order. She's trying to she's being funny and cute, and she's like, I'm like, ma'am, can I check your ID? And she's like, sure, and I'm like, can you turn around, and I need to expose the barcode in the back. She goes, I may look young, but I've been around the block once or twice. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, yeah, ma'am, you're 55 years old. I get this. Okay, move on. And I don't say anything. And she goes, oh, well, I think I'm funny. She came back a few days later, and I was just trying to get her in and out. And she goes, excuse me, sir, did you come from a police officer background? Were you in the military? And I'm just like, I do not want to tell you that I'm a comedian, because this conversation is going to go on way longer, and you're going to say way too much that I don't want to involve. I go, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. I literally just military my way out of it. Like, I will not tell people I'm a comic. Like, absolutely not.
That is literally one of the biggest mistakes. It's like people ask me what I do that don't know. And I'll just make up random. I'll even make up jobs I did when I was a teenager or early 20s or something like that. Yeah, computer sales. I won't tell him because I can't sit because it's one of those things. It's very similar to a really, really good looking woman. Like when a really good looking woman walks into the room, even guys that know they have absolutely 0% chance of dating this woman will still stand in front of her and act like an idiot just to get any kind of approval at all, any kind of a smile, any kind of anything. And it's very similar because you tell somebody you're a comic, oh my God, they will come at. I had a plumber that came to the house and he, as it turns out, listened to me. And so I was like, so he comes in the house and he's staring at me the whole time. And then he goes, can I ask you a question? Yeah, sure. I see the name here on the invoice. Are you S. Anthony Thomas? And I go, yeah. Hey man, and I'm like, oh, that's great, thank you. And I'm thinking that's going to be the end of it. Oh God, joke. He had to come back the next day. He came back with a joke book.
No.
A joke book.
Oh, no.
What do you think of this one?
Oh.
Now, keep in mind, I feel comfortable saying this because, one, I know he's hearing this, and I broke his stones really hard while he was in front of me. Or I wouldn't, because I wouldn't bring this up had I not broken his stones while he was right there. And I'm going, listen, I forgot what I said to him, but I was breaking his balls. And he's like, oh, okay, man. And we started laughing about it and having a good time. But I was like, man, if you weren't such a nice guy, man, because it just doesn't stop when people find out what you do. It never stops. Because he's like, good Lord.
No.
Okay, what about
one of the shows I have, like I recently had, like the one guy goes, hey man, what do you do like when people tell you jokes? And I go, and I'm being very honest, I go, I typically toss them. I don't I'm just like, nope, that sucks, never think. And he goes, well, everybody in my family thinks I'm funny. If I told you a joke, would you maybe think about telling it? I'm like, oh no. You heard me tell you that I won't do anybody else's material and you're still pitching me. Oh God. I was like, yeah, man, tell me the jokes later. Write them down. I'll see what you think.
That is let me ask you this, because this is something else that's interesting. Significant others when you're doing stand-up, I don't know if you're in a relationship right now, but how's that working for you? Because sometimes they get a little jealous of all the time you spend on stage.
Okay. So I have a very unique, interesting point for that. So I've been with my wife. We've been together for 17 years. Tomorrow we're going to celebrate our 9-year wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. About a year and a half ago, though, we both came out as bisexual, though, and came out polyamorous. We both are poly. So comedy has definitely changed drastically for that. She does not go to many shows, typically because she does, late nights and things. And she's been to some of the bad ones. I feel terrible for her. Some of the other people I go out with, though, it's a whole new experience for them. They're just like, this is the greatest thing ever. Oh my gosh. And I'm just like, you guys don't get this at all. Like some nights this goes bad. And I make a very strict rule. You can't go to open mics, only showcases. Nobody gets to go to an open mic. You can't go to an open mic. That's not worth your time or doing. You can go to a showcase that I know everybody that's on it, but it's different because also too, especially when I'm hosting, most of them don't realize I'm working. Like I'm going to go up and tell my jokes. I have to time the next comic. I need to light them. I need to listen to them. I need to maybe make a tag off them. I'm working that whole time. It's not going to be much of a date. You can get drunk and have fun. I'm not going to. So
how far do you have to separate your second significant other from your wife?
So the second significant other is very understanding that the wife came first and was well first. So it's not too difficult. I've been lucky, and everybody I've met's been either cool or flakes out pretty quickly. which is fine, and like I'm okay with it. I'm cool with it. Like, but like it's I have another couple people, and it's been months and last things, but everybody I make it very clear. She has a poison pill. If she says no, she can take that. This is over. You want to say no, you can take that. This is over. Everybody has a poison pill. So, but if she gets the first choice. So that's my scene on it.
Yeah, because I just get a kick out of it because I had a couple of friends who were in this literally exactly the same situation, and it was one of those things where it's like they just kind of formed this family. Wife loves new girlfriend, or wife loves boyfriend, and it's like, so we're all good here. Everything's cool. We good? Well, really? Yeah. And I'm sitting there watching. I'm sitting at the table. I'm going. I said, so everything, because I know all of them, and I knew them as individuals.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that they had all hooked up. And I'm going, so everybody's cool, because I didn't think the personalities matched that well. But fortunately, I think they're probably all still together kind of today, actually, to be honest with you. Haven't seen them in a while. But I was just wondering about that, because sometimes when you have an open relationship, or a relationship very similar to the one that you're describing with yourself, sometimes the person's like, look, hey, man, I know you're mine, and I got 80% of you. They can deal with that over there. That's cool. And some people are like, listen, that's it. You said them twice. Hell no. And they get, 1 week, that's it. That's done. It's just an interesting thing, because once you get involved with anything, you start adding different pieces. If it works, it's fantastic. If it doesn't work, ew. As you said, somebody has to have the poison pill, got to hit that eject button. I don't like them. Click. Out.
Yep. And that's what I give everybody. Like, it's fine at that point. But again, I'm lucky. My base relationships, like I said, we've been together for 17 years. Mm-hmm. We had built this. We trust each other. We love each other. We know we're not leaving each other. Mm-hmm. But we also met very young. We were together very young, and we learned that maybe at this point, it's not, we love each other, but we can still love others too. That's fine. So it takes time. It's not easy. Like, I remember one time I was dating this one person, and her friend started accosting me. She's like, what are your intentions here? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, are you going to hurt her? I don't know. I don't plan on it. Like, I'm like, do you think that I'm going into this thinking that that's how I'm going to act? I have no clue. I'm dating somebody like anyone else is dating somebody. I hope it goes well. If not, sorry.
That is always hilarious when the girlfriend's friend shows up and starts acting like the girlfriend's mom.
Oh, okay. You'll appreciate this even better. I had to do a comedy set, a half live, half Zoom comedy set for these people at 10 a.m. before I met her. Yeah, that was. Oh, and it was a bunch of 45-year-old social workers who were drunk at like 11 a.m. And I hadn't done a set in 2 months at that point.
Ooh, rust time.
And so I'm doing. Oh yeah, exactly. So there are 2 people on cell phones. There are 4 people in live audience and a dog. And I'm like trying to figure out, where do I look? What am I doing? So it took me a couple minutes, and the friend eventually came over, and she's like, "What? Why were you so nervous at the first part of your set?" And I go, "I haven't done this in a while. That was nervous. Like I was nervous. I don't know what you want from me." I go, "Did you notice I got better as the set went along?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "Okay." Like, that's a weird thing, people. Like, I don't know. It was just so weird. She was definitely like mama bear to me, and accusing me of everything. I'm like, I don't know what you want. I wasn't a great comic. Sorry.
That's just a weird thing to walk up to someone and say.
Right.
I'm saying, especially since, I'll put it this way. You'll take a critique from anybody, because obviously you're basically setting yourself up, because you're displaying your work in front of people that don't know you. So obviously you're going to be judged. So obviously their input and their, opinion matters. Okay, we got that. But sometimes you get critiques that you're basically going, you've moved into the area of, you should not be saying this unless you're a comedian. You know what I mean? People start giving you technique tips, and like, I've been doing this for longer than this person's been alive. You know,
right?
Or, you know,
you're like, oh no, thanks. Yeah,
you got 4 years in. It's like, have you ever picked up a microphone? I've been busting my behind on these stages and for 4 years. What is it, man? I mean, I can understand if it, you know, especially that, because that sounded to me, let's be honest, that sounded to me like somebody that was just wanting to take a shot at you because they could.
100% what it was. And I knew that very quickly. And I tried to brush it off as quick as I could, but I was just like, ow, that hurt. I was just like, they have no clue what that's like. Especially most people don't get reps. Like, you need to have your reps. You need to be consistent to be good. Usually it's hard to have a large layoff and easily pick up a microphone and be excellent again. Like,
your act atrophies the same way a muscle does. You know?
Yes.
And so
it's muscle memory. Yes.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, because I did we had a thing. This is like a long time ago. We had it was the first time I had 2 weeks off straight in a long time at that point. And it was the 2 weeks for Christmas. And usually I would kind of sneak out someplace. I was like, you know what? You know, hundreds of shows in a row. I'm taking these 2 weeks off. The hell with it. I go back up on stage and I could feel, it still went well, but I could feel the rust from 2 weeks.
Yep.
I could feel it.
Yeah. Yes. And again, I'm so spoiled around here, especially before COVID. You could hit 5 open mics a night. Like, you were just getting it and churning it out and trying different everything. And you were on your A game. And like me at this point, like, yeah, if I'm off a week,
you get to do 5 open mics a night.
5.
You make me sick.
You add it.
You greedy bastard.
100% I was, and 100% I was. Like, it was a huge thing. If you did it right and you asked around right, you could hit 5. It was known as the triple. You could do 4 on like certain nights. Most nights you could do 3. Like, it was just, it's the best to try to get better. And I love it. But when you don't have that and you go down to right now where we're at, like, I might get 1 or 2. I just did my first real open mic since last March 2020. Mm-hmm. And that was a drive-in open mic, which is very interesting.
Is that the horn honking?
Having cars honk at you for applause. Yeah, horn honking for applause. Walking an audience is driving an audience. So
you know you're doing bad. Oh God, I hear an engine.
100 there, I won't name his name, but there was a comic and I looked at him, I go, you just drove 4 people away. They had to turn their car on for that.
Oh, that'd be
like it was.
That would be the time you wish you had an audience full of Tesla so you could even hear them pull off.
If I could have somehow done open mic comedy in Boulder, that would have been great. You're right. But no, I was in Fort Collins with everybody with their loud revving trucks and like Dodge Challengers driving past you. And you're like, come on.
Yeah, have somebody cold roll you when they leave.
But again, it's good. Somebody absolutely did that. I absolutely had that happen.
Jeez. Is everybody still masked up? Because on the East Coast here, they're kind of lifting a lot of the masks guidelines, so you can walk around without the mask on outside and stuff like that. How are you guys doing there?
It's pretty mask free. It's pretty mask free now. Because we're at 70% conversion rate. It's mostly mask free. My job just went mask free. Most of the shows are like, mask recommended. It's different. Like, it's weird because my biggest issue is I look at the people that aren't wearing the mask. I go, you're not vaccinated. Sir, you are 55 years old in camo and 2 Bud Light 6-packs. I know you're not vaccinated. Don't lie to me.
It is a good chance you get stuck in the arm.
Exactly. I was like, there's no way. And I'm like, I'm looking at some of these, like, I'm not going to rat them out, but like, even like, I only have 2 coworkers who have not been vaccinated. And when we found out we could take off our masks, they were the first 2 to take them off. I'm like, you guys, no, what are you doing? Yeah. So I don't know. It's everyone's choice.
Mm-hmm. But at 70%, you're really close to herd immunity time. So you should be good there. Because I think you got to get to
really close to herd immunity time.
Yeah, I think you got to be able. Like, I think
so, but again, we have but here's the problem: we have so many people coming in from Wyoming that's never going to be a real number.
Ooh, yeah.
My time up there, no one wore a mask. There was no mask mandate at any restaurant that wasn't Starbucks. And again, I was in the jail for the weekend and I never saw a mask.
Mm-hmm.
Not one person was wearing one. Like, I'm like, that can easily spread right back down here real quick.
Oh yeah. Did you get?
See.
So obviously you got jammed in the arm then.
Oh, I had to have at least my first shot before I was going to Wyoming. There was no way I was leaving here without that. So yeah, I'm fully vaxxed. Moderna past 2 weeks. So I'm pretty happy about that.
I'm also a Moderna guy, and I will be completely vaxxed. My 2 weeks ends on Thursday.
Nice. Congratulations.
So it'll be over with, my friend. It'll be over with. Done, complete, finished. I had to truck around a bunch of relatives too. I'm like, yeah, get in the car and shut up. I'm taking shut your damn mouth, get in the car, and then you drag them down there. Because did you get? Because my sister also got Moderna, and the first shot she was complaining about. She was calling me on the phone talking to her. She had her arm hurt, and the second she goes, if you're getting Moderna, I'm telling you right now, that thing knocked me down for 30 hours. I was sleeping and I was waiting for my brother-in-law to call. You know, man, come on, man. Your sister's he's all knocked out over there. I got both Moderna shots. I had 0 side effects. Nothing.
Wow. Nice.
No fatigue, no pain in the arm, nothing. And
wow.
She's like, wait, nothing? I'm like, nothing. My arm didn't even hurt. Nothing. You know, and my other sibling, nothing. A couple of older relatives, shot in the arm, nothing. And I was like, wow, that's because I'll be honest with you, I was a little afraid of it. I mean, not afraid, but I literally had to clear out 4 days in my schedule. No shows, no recordings, no nothing for 4 days just in case. And I got the shot and I'm looking at the clock going, okay. And she said it was 8 hours in is when her arm started to hurt. And in 12 hours, she couldn't even get out of bed. She was retired. 12 hours goes by. I'm going, yeah, I guess that's not going to happen to me. I cleared out 4 days for nothing. That pissed me off, though.
Well, there's worse. I mean, but at least you were being cautious and you were taking care of it just in case.
Damn it.
I don't know. I was gonna say so the first shot I had nothing. No tired, no nothing. Second shot, my arm was sore. I ended up doing a show that night. The next morning, arm was a little sore. I was a little tired, but it was Saturday, so I slept in. And then after I got up after like my nap, I was like, I feel great. Nothing wrong. I kept doing everything else I was going to do. So everybody I've talked to that has Moderna, typically, like you feel fine. You're okay.
Yeah, it's just
like,
kind of.
I think it's the Pfizer everyone has.
Yeah, it's like my neighbor 2 doors down. I'm walking out the house. Hey, it's Anthony. Hey, what's going on, Miss Will? You know, she goes. I said, what happened? I said, I haven't seen you and your guy in a while. What happened? And her boyfriend she basically had to use a mop to move him around the house. You know, he was a complete mess. And she goes, I was horrible. I was tired. My arm hurt. But you should have seen. She was like taking pride. He was a mess. You know, he comes walking out the house. Hey man, I heard her talking about I wasn't that bad. She goes, yes, you were. Did you see him the last couple of days, S. Anthony? Nah. You know why? Because he was in the house drooling all over himself, whining like a punk. And I'm going, oh my God. I was like, maybe they had a fight. She's like using me to torture this bastard because she's just telling all of his secrets. But it's an interesting thing, and I'm looking forward to. So you were able to get back on the stage a little faster than I'm going to be able to, but it should be happening really, really soon. I just want to give people a little more time because, you know, I just want to see what's going to happen. You know, because I don't see a lot of I've seen a couple of anti-vaxxers. Not many, but a couple of them. You know, people walking into the store, pulling their shirts over their nose. I'm like, you know, that's not the same thing as wearing a mask, right? You know, it's just a shirt. It's not the same thing as where,
That's been my favorite part about like running most of the shows outside, because I was working security, and I would make sure. No, I was like, no, pull that. You're gonna wear that. Keep that in. Keep on the inside. And now it's almost impossible to keep anyone or do anything or say anything. So if I had my druthers, I'd rather take some time off right now, but not so lucky, I guess. I mean, I'm really blessed to have lots of shows right now. So we'll see what happens. I mean, not much choice I have. So
well, now as far as your day gig, I just want to know, much like sometimes people that work at McDonald's will partake of the Big Macs themselves, and they'll go home with a Big Mac, a fry, and soda for themselves, and it's acceptable for them to do so, or they'll get the Big Mac fries and soda at a discounted rate for themselves. Seeing as how you also work with the public with a disposable substance, are you allowed to also enjoy the fruits of your labor?
Oh, off the clock, 100%. Oh yeah, no. I love it. I get samples. Actually, I'm in charge of samples, which is great at my job. Like literally, companies just send us different things. They're like, "Ooh, you guys want some edibles? You want a vape pen, concentrate, some flour? Here you go, all in this black bag. Go home and smoke it, and tell us what you think." Like that's a weekly thing. I love it for that. Like, honestly, I used to work just retail before, and I was realizing I could get the same discount at the dispensary and get paid the same amount. So I was like, fuck this. I'm leaving Home Depot and going to the dispensary.
I'm going to find it very, very funny when you're being interviewed on Entertainment Tonight for season 3 of your show, and they're going to, you're making $200,000 a week. Why are you still working at the dispensary? Mind your business.
It's the discount, man. I love the discount.
Mind your damn business. Anyway, we can shoot the show from here. This is because I've never actually had an edible.
Okay. Yes.
Does it taste different than a regular brownie or cookie or anything?
It depends. It depends if it's done well. If a company or somebody does it badly, then yeah, you'll absolutely taste marijuana. You can taste the things of marijuana. But if a company, is really good about it, no, you don't. Again, I'm definitely a heavy consumer. My edible dosage is very high. I'm upwards of 150 to 300 milligrams for an edible to get me high. So we have something in Colorado called a cake pop. And it is a weed-infused cake pop that's 300 milligrams.
Okay.
So imagine a normal size cake pop. That's 300 milligrams. And that thing better not taste hashy. I don't want that to. And they don't.
Now, as far as milligrams are concerned, what, like a standard, you're at a friend's house, they're rolling a joint, like a regular size joint. What would be in that?
So let me explain this, and you're gonna make the marijuana guy come in. They are two totally different highs, so they're not comparable. Weed high is getting consumed through your lungs and oxygen. The edible is getting consumed through your stomach and your liver. So it actually changes the drug when you ingest it. It turns from a Delta 9 to a T11. It instantly becomes a body high. So I know people that can smoke a ton. They're 300 pounds. If I give them a 10 milligram edible, they're out. They're done. They're done for the evening. So, which is 10 milligrams is the state of Colorado says is a safe starting dosage for anyone. Anyone over 21, 10 milligrams is fine. And I know people that they're dead on that. And like I said, me on the other hand, 150, 300 milligrams. Okay.
I can see you giving somebody hey man, look man, I'm a tough guy. Look, I'm 6'4", 260, I'm a former cage fighter, you know what I'm saying? I'm a merchant marine. Just give me that damn lollipop. It's not going to affect me, you understand? Break on through to the other side. Do, 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 do.
I won't steal it, but Pete PJ Johnson, again, he has a great bit. He also works in a dispensary. He talks about like these old time stoners from Vietnam stoners that will come in and take an edible. Like, man, that shit don't affect me. And he literally will gradually fall asleep on stage and pass out like as the set's going on. Like, it's really good because they don't get it. Like, it's not the same. It's going to mess you up. Like you don't get it.
But obviously, it doesn't do anything it doesn't bang you down the way alcohol does. I mean, you don't have headaches and you're not dehydrated. You're not feeling beat up, I'm assuming.
Nope.
I
say that you fell asleep at the party first. That's really what it means. Like, the worst case scenario, you're going to take a nap. You're going to go to bed. Like, you could get paranoia if you ate too many, which I've done. But most people, like, just go for a walk, drink some water, take a nap. You'll be fine. As long as you're not doing something stupid like I am on dosaging, you're fine.
The funny thing is, I don't know if you noticed this, but we're not actually recording the show. The show's tomorrow. This is in your head right now.
That makes so much sense, man. Like,
dude, bro. That's
at least they'll be better.
That is just an interesting thing because, like, obviously in when I lived in LA, I mean, it was like I don't even smoke marijuana, but it's like I could tell whatever that guy was smoking, some of the stuff that these guys were smoking. I'm going, good Lord, bro. Just it's like you just sit next to the guy like, oh, what in the blue hell is that? You can tell what it was. And
you say that was me. That was me outside the open mic last night. I had a concentrate infused joint with me, and I was hitting it for a few minutes, and I was about to finish it out, and some dude goes, "Who's got the weed? I want it." And I'm like, "Oh crap! Let me get this thing out. I'm not giving this guy." Again, that's always fun too. Just dosing the comedians has been one of my favorite things on the planet. So
because it's just a really weird thing. So I'm going to ask you this because it became, what is the legalization level in? I mean, it's just straight up. That's it. You can just use what you want as far as marijuana is concerned.
To a point, you can use as much as you want. There's only so much you can have on you at any given point.
It's just a
the
ticket
most
at that
you
point,
can
right?
legally purchase in a. If you go over a certain amount, it's more than a ticket, but to do that's pretty impressive. It would be basically well over 3 ounces, and you'd have to have that on you in your possession.
How
which
physically
nobody
big
really
is
does.
3
That's
ounces?
a lot
though?
of weed.
Yeah, how physically big is 3 ounces?
So that's what, 72 grams of marijuana. Like, you're talking like 72 1 gram joints, like big joints.
Ooh.
It's a lot of weed. That's a lot of marijuana to have on you. I at no point ever need that much weed on me. I'm like, I can buy it when I need it. I'll have a gram or two on me and I'm good.
Are there dispensaries?
Which
I'm assuming
found out about.
This is dispensaries everywhere now, I'm assuming, right?
Pretty much. They've limited what you can, like how many licenses in Colorado you can actually have. They've capped it out. They aren't giving new ones. But I think it's something like 250 licenses in Colorado. So I mean, they're everywhere. There's one like every 3 blocks around me. I used to work at 2. There were a 5-minute walk apart with another dispensary in between. So, and that was not in Denver. Like Denver's like every other block. It's a dispensary.
So I'm assuming that so that tax money's got to be huge.
It is, but they can't use it as well as they're hoping to. The biggest problem about that is because all the schools are still federally funded. Most of the schools won't actually take the money that's intended for them because they can lose their federal funding. So a lot of the money goes unclaimed. There was at one point, I think we gave back $500 million to the state of Colorado residents because it was unused marijuana tax. It was just sitting there. Like everyone got a check for like $300.
That's like Alaska with the oil.
Yes. Yeah. It really is, and it feels that way. It's the wild, wild west, and things are just, always changing regulations and things. It's different and interesting. But I love it. Like, it's never the same thing twice when I go to work. Something new got changed. Some new regulation happened. It's like, okay, let's do this. I'm
just curious about what the percentage is of the people that got the $300 check that went, I might as well, since this is free $300, I might as well walk to one of these dispensaries really quickly and grab a little dessert for after day and put in. You have any chocolate weed brownies with weed ice cream?
So I mean this. When people got their federal stimuluses, we could tell it was coming in because we started getting busier. Mm-hmm. You could tell the people that got their $1,200 checks that were instantly going to throw it at the dispensary. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, moon rocks, caviar. Yeah, a Puffco Peak. Throw that bad boy in my pocket, baby. That's government money. I was like, all right.
We're going to the other side.
Exactly. It was so obvious too. We could tell, like, these people are normally like somebody that would normally buy a joint or two, maybe an eighth on a wild day. Mm-hmm. And you're in here maxing out, buying like $300, smoking rigs. I'm like, okay, guys, we get it. You got your money. Go home and have fun.
I think that is absolutely hilarious. Do you have wacky characters showing up in there?
Oh yeah, we do. We were just talking about this homeless guy that we had, Mr. Paisley. I'll say his name on here and leave it at that. Mm-hmm. He would literally he was cracked out of his mind. He would walk up and down the streets, yelling at people, screaming at people. At one point, though, he would refuse when the pandemic happened to wear hand sanitizer. And he's like, "No, man, they're gonna mess with my atomic message, and it's gonna screw me up." So he decided he was going to come in a costume to like surprise us and we wouldn't know it was him. He just came in like an old sailor's outfit with a teeny tiny hat, but he still wasn't wearing a mask. So we knew exactly who he was. And I was like, Mr. Paisley, we know it's you. Will you please put some hand sanitizer on? There was another guy today, this 73-year-old guy who tried to fight me when the pandemic happened. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I can spit that far. I don't need a stupid mask and all this stuff. And he's still like this. Yeah, there's a bunch of interesting characters that I deal with on a regular basis there.
I already know.
But some really cool people too.
I already know 5 or 6 of these people will be in your Netflix special. I'm smelling it right now.
Mr. Paisley is definitely going to be a character. I can tell you that right now.
I can smell it coming, because whenever you have, because I talked to my actor friends and I did a recording with a friend of mine as an actor a little while ago. And we do exactly the same thing. We sit there and we're observing people. First thing you notice as a comic is when something bad happens to you, it feels horrible, just like it does to everybody else. But after it's over, you're going, I can actually make money with that. That bad thing that happened to me, I can make money with that. And the second thing is when you're watching people around you, you find yourself just like looking at them and you're literally just putting information into the computer that you're going to use later on. Vocal inflections, body movements, voices, accents, and you're just putting it into the machine. And I didn't realize how much I do that. I'm literally always doing that, but it's subconscious now. And then when you need the voice or the inflection or the character, it just pops out because you were feeding it into the machine the entire time. And I'm telling you right now, 5 or 6 of these dudes, they're going to wind up in your first Netflix special. I'm telling you that right now.
I believe you are 100% correct, because I've absolutely stolen things from customers and things. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to use that. Like, the opener you saw that night, which is definitely not my opener of the Comedy Works tape. It was a customer told me that. She goes, you look like a sexy serial killer. I was like, what? It's like, yeah, no. And like, I've had other people like, you look like the lead singer of Stained. Like, okay, that's funnier than anything I could say right now, so I'm going to use that. I appreciate that.
You know what? Earlier in this
broadcast,
I said, Your first Netflix special will be called Ryan Hates the Homeless. I changed my mind. It's now Sexy Serial Killer. That's the name. That's the name of your first special. I'm telling you right now. There it is.
That might be, if not, it's the follow-up special to I Hate the Homeless. It's Sexy Serial Killer.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Well, see, that's a good thing. Good. You got two concepts right now for your first two specials. You do like Dave Chappelle, record both of them back to back, and then walk into Netflix. All right, you bastards, 20 million. Got two specials.
All right,
for
sold,
you.
Sir. Thank you. We've never seen somebody do this before. Good for you.
My friend, we have concluded today's episode. I want to thank you, man. It's been a blast talking to you, man. It was fun talking to you. I was looking forward to it, and it's been fantastic.
You too. Thank you. Seriously, I've been looking forward to this. It's been a long time since I got to talk to you, so I really appreciate it.
My brother, I want to thank you. And when I come to Colorado, I'm expecting at least four spots around the city. I'm not going to get greedy with 5 like you, but I'm going to do 4.
Seriously, I have you on shows. I can promise you right now, up and down the state, I'll make some. You're on shows. Let me know when you're in here. You're on.
To the audience, I want you to listen very closely. He admitted this, so we're going to hold him to it. If I don't get at least 4 spots, we get him.
Yeah, all of you come after me, please. If I can't own up and get him 4 spots, please.
All right, my brother. It was a pleasure talking to you. We will continue to harass each other online, my brother.
Hell yeah, appreciate you, sir. Appreciate you.
All right, take care. Much love to you. Yeah, bye-bye. All right, now that was fun, wasn't it? Told you. What did I tell you? Have I failed you yet? No. Will I fail you? Also no. Thanks again for all your support. Much love to everybody, and I'll see you again next time. Take care.